207, starting from 207. If you search for 0207, okay, can you go there? 0207. Click
Yeah, yeah,
position. Click position, and from that you search for 207. 0207.
yeah, yeah.
Go there. Not coming. Strange. Scroll down.
Not coming directly. 1 second. Zero.
Hmm.
Uh,
It is
one.
207 only. Yeah. But
Yeah. But it's showing from 1000 onwards, I think so.
hmm.
Is there any
Hmm.
other way?
No, no, no. That you don't have to hear. Ideally, it should be there, but anyway. But can you just go to any employee in PA30 and for US people, and you can just select that. Go to any employee
Hmm.
PA30 transaction, US employee.
Okay, 1 second. Okay.
Is a US employee, right? 207. Go to info type 207.
Okay. Who are you?
Is that data maintained here? Can you try?
Oh no,
No,
actually
right?
this
Okay.
no. No.
Okay. So basically, this I'm not going to go into detail. In my earlier video of US payroll, I have maintained that. Okay, 207 to 210, those four info types. Okay. So what we can quickly you
Okay.
can do, you can just try to maintain that. Create 207 quickly.
Okay.
It will be defining your residence tax area or your employee wherever he is staying in. Okay. Based on that,
Okay.
US is divided into multiple different tax areas. Okay. So accordingly, you will be getting those details. Can you just try to maintain that? So this employee belongs to Texas, right? You can select any
Yeah, yeah.
related tax area.
Taxes. Correct.
Select from that tax area. Huh. So from here, you can choose anything related to Texas, something like that.
Yeah, yeah. I'm taking
Mm-hmm.
state of
Search for Texas, something like that.
this Texarkana. It's showing.
Or it can be any location. Just let me search for you. So Texas is a big city. Texas, any area belonging to. mm,
Texarkana is there. It is related to.
hmm. No, I don't think that is the place. So for that, you have to also know the geography of US as well, because
Uh,
sometimes, okay. And so which city belongs to which state also, that is also a little bit of geography knowledge is required. What you can do, you can choose, let me just, so this person belongs to Texas, right? So like,
correct.
you can have, there's a list actually, I forgot that list. Okay. So
Hmm.
can you just put this transaction code? I will be giving you a option. Mm, I will just put in the chart. This is a report actually. This is a transaction. Can you try that report in another window? Otherwise, we will go ahead with any normal city, whichever is belonging to Texas here.
Uh, have to use this code or you?
You have to use this T code. This is the T code. In another window, another session, you just open that. Let's see whether it is working or not. Yeah. So here, country ID, choose US, United States, US. Yeah. So chart of account, choose here. Select that. Is there anything specific for? Oh, this is something generally finance people create it. Okay. But we do
Correct.
not know for us what is there. If you know anything familiar, you can select that. Ideally, it will be created by finance people.
Yeah, okay.
Hmm.
And,
You can choose anything which you're familiar related to US, North America, or something like that. Can you just or
yeah, I'm
which is related to
checking.
the US? Yeah. If you find something related to the US, you can choose that. US, nothing is available. United States.
Name is not available actually. They mentioned a different
Okay.
account
Okay.
description.
These people have renamed these things. They have configured in
Ah,
that
yeah,
way.
yeah.
Okay.
Different.
Uh, India,
I'm checking.
Japan, US, United States is there. I can see that. CAU something.
See, 1 second. I'm checking here. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Here,
below that.
see.
Yeah. CAU. Just to try that. And text grouping version. Can you try what is there? You can choose US specific. Is there anything? Okay. Now, if it is not there, you just execute it. Let's try it.
Display details.
Is it? Display details immediately. If it is not coming, then directly we have to go to the. Okay, if a few things are coming here. Okay, but this is something related to. Okay, this is not our income tax. This is sales tax. Okay. So I think it is a configured in a different way. Okay, anyway, you just go to that info. This is not relevant for you. Okay, this is something I was looking for, but it is not related to the income tax. Okay, can you go to the PA30, that info type once again? Okay. You choose any of the city which you think. Let's see.
And we will see this. There is some different name I search. Can I check? Can I give the search? The Dallas
Yeah,
is
you can
not
use.
there.
Dallas is there. Dallas, you can try that. Austin, whatever the city which is there. But these are very
Um,
small cities also they have captured here. Okay.
Correct. And Laredo.
Basically
Laredo is.
tax area, right? So tax area
Ah,
in that city. So otherwise from a configuration also you can find it out, all these things. But let's see from here. Mm,
I think name. If I search, name is not coming directly. Okay,
hmm,
and I have to check separately.
hmm.
Only description I have to check. I think so because
Description you just hmm,
tax area. If I give, it will come tax area.
hmm, hmm,
Uh,
hmm.
I'm checking. If also 4 to 1
Coming anything?
No, actually, I am not getting.
Okay. So from the text area, what we can you just go to one thing? Go to
Hmm.
SPRO once. From that also you can identify which area belong to which taxation city. There is a configuration. Go to SPRO once,
Okay.
then from that you'll be understanding. And those are standard actually. We don't have to configure much. So SAP provide those information. Those are very much standard. Go to
Yeah.
US payroll, payroll
Oh,
US.
font size increase, right? Now it is. You can see font size increase compared to last
Uh-huh.
session.
Yes,
Correct.
yes, compared to last time. Yes, 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 I think.
Uh, because we need to log out, I think so.
Yeah, yeah. You
Log
have to
out
log
and
out. Yes, yes. Log out and log in.
uh,
Yeah. I generally use a
yeah.
very bigger
Okay.
text compared almost double of it. But anyway, go to US
Uh,
payroll once. SPRO of that. It will be inside the payroll and US payroll. Expand that payroll and go to US payroll.
okay.
Ha. So from here, you have to see basically go to that deposit time, incentive, accumulations, tax. Tax garnishment is there, right? Expand that text
Hmm.
button, text node. Expand that, yeah. So here you can see the first one is definitely an interface, which you will be coming back later on. Okay. So
Hmm. Hmm.
text whenever because in US BSI is the most important one. Okay, which is actually takes care of your entire tax process. So for that reason, US tax is simple. Okay, so generally everything is taken care by BSI. Okay, so but to set up those BSIs, there are certain configurations needed for us. Okay, so we will come to there.
Okay.
So before that, can you
Okay.
just expand this node, BSI as well as tax companies? BSI will coming later on. Okay. Determine this is fine. Tax company, can you try expand that? Tax company, yeah. So here you can see tax company two. Your first one is let's go systematically. We will come to that data maintenance later on. Anyway, video is there. Okay. So first of all, in US, what happens? Entire company. So here every location is actually divided into different tax companies. So if you execute that defined tax company, can you execute that
Okay. Define
tax
tax company,
company?
right?
Defined tax company. Yes, that one. Execute that. Yeah. So for every location, so your entire organ, so they're divided into different tax company. Okay. So here in this example, we can see around 20 plus tax companies are there. Okay. This is a standard one. Okay. So you can define this tax company. Okay. After that, you have to assign it to your personal area. Okay. You might be having 20% area, 10% area, 30% area. Accordingly,
Okay.
which tax company will be allocated to which personal area that you have to define in your as a part of your configuration. Okay. So because
Okay.
your company may exist into five different locations, five different personal area, your tax company may be similar, maybe not similar. Okay, they may be okay. It's again up to the organization. Okay. So accordingly, you have
Okay.
to define that tax company and you have to allocate that tax company to the personal area. That is the principle
Okay.
here. Can you go back
Okay.
again?
So based on personal area, we need to create tax company, or based on tax company, we need to assign
No, no.
personal area, right?
You have to assign those tax company to the specific personal area. Can you go back once from here?
Yeah, yeah. New entries.
No, no, no. Don't do new entries. Go back. Yeah.
Okay.
Click that green button. Okay. Can you read that text? Okay. So whenever you get getting confused, instead of reading anything from your that, suppose if you have latest information, generally the system which you are using refer that documentation. Okay. If they are having those details, it's well and good. Okay. So what they are saying, enter the name and description of your organization tax companies. Okay. So here you define all the tax companies for your organization. So it will be like for your company, maybe you are having three tax companies or four different tax companies. Okay, based on your entities, how many entities you are having. Okay, if it can happen if it is small organization, you can only have only one tax company. Okay, that is also
Hmm.
possible. Okay, so that you have to define in this section in this configuration. Okay, so that is the thing. Just to close it, then the next one is assign tax company to the personal, which is the most important one. Okay. So here, even if you created a tax company, okay, so basically you have to define what is which personal area it will belong to. Okay, so how you will be defining that? You can see that PA is there, PSA is there, okay, personal area, personal sub area is there. Okay, so if you go to the right hand side of it, for every major city, you do have your account number, company ID. Go right and more again. More details will be there. Hmm. Company ID. Then here, tax company, last one. Can you see? Last two
Yes.
columns. Okay. So
Correct.
here, many of the person area they have not assigned to tax company. That means it will be a problem. Okay. Whenever you are configuring it, you have to ensure that tax company, whatever you have configured, that okay. The previous list which we have seen, okay. Once you set up that, that values will be available from here. Okay. So in this drop down value of
Okay.
TXCO. Okay. And from this, you have to assign that tax company to that personal area, sub area, whatever you are having. So this is in this way, system will allocate that how the tax will be treated, okay, for that particular location, okay, or for that particular personal area, personal sub area. Okay, this is an important configuration whenever you are doing, okay, tax authorize means tax company configuration. Okay, this is something you have to
Okay.
do during your implementation. Okay, got it?
Okay. Got it.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah, yeah. Go back again. Yeah. So first of all, we'll understand the flow actually, how these are actually configured. Okay. The next one is a define BSI tax company. So how it is different. Okay. So just to execute that. Hmm. Okay. So this is again a very similar one. Okay. Just like previously, whatever we have seen, right? Tax company code, there will be a company code. Okay. Tax company, same thing, whatever we have seen. Okay. But this is
Hmm.
something whenever you are interfacing with BSI. Okay. So this number will be similar to the earlier one, the text code, whatever we have seen, right? And same thing,
Hmm.
you have to also put it here. And nowadays, what happens? If your BSI has now have been evolved, and now if you are implementing EC payroll, then BSI also should be a cloud. BSI will be having a cloud version of it that you have to integrate. If you are using on-premise, then you have to integrate with the on-premise. Okay, that is something we have to understand. So whenever you are implementing with the EC payroll, then you have to go for BSI cloud. If you are implementing, let's say on-premise still, then you have to check with your BSI. And there is a BSI service available. Generally, organizations pay some amount to the BSI, and generally through that they get a license, and that integration is done. Okay, generally integration consultant will be helping you in that. Okay, and BSI
Okay.
team also will be there to support you. Okay, that is not so difficult configuration, but that
Okay.
you can check during your actual project only whenever, because we do not have a BSI access. Okay, BSI is something
Okay.
once your company has to buy that license, and then only you have to. Okay, but it is very simple. Okay, nothing
Okay.
much. So you once you configure it, remaining part BSI will take care. Okay, and just you have to test it
Okay.
whether it is working, whatever you are updating in your SAP system, or okay US payroll, whether that is getting updated in your BSI and vice versa. Okay, that only you have to test it. Okay. But this one you understood, right? This is just for a definition. Okay, for you can have one BSI tax company, you can have multiple BSI tax company code. Okay, depending upon your scenario. Got
Okay.
it?
That integration we have to do with help of BSI team. Everything is there, but we need to connect that integration, right?
So that connectivity will be done with help from BSI. Okay, so BSI will
BSI.
person there will be when for
Hmm.
every company there will be dedicated BSI. So this is a one-time activity. Okay, so unless and
Hmm.
until there
Okay.
is any upgrade, because BSI also gets upgraded, just like in India. We would not have a similar
Hmm.
kind of a stuff, but every year tax slab. Okay, if there is any changes, there are so many changes coming up after every finance means budget, right? Right. So that changes generally SAP does, and some things also we have to apply some notes. Okay. Similarly for US payroll
Hmm.
also, for BSI, they take care of it. Okay, the entire taxation part. Okay, so accordingly, you have to upgrade. Okay, if you're using SAP on-premise system, okay, you have to upgrade or based on SAP some note, SAP releases some note. Okay, and that note you have to refer and you have to talk to your SAP basis consultant if any notes to be applied, or if it is a cloud
mm,
one, generally it is taken care by SAP themselves, SAP and BSI themselves. Okay, only thing is you have to test it.
okay.
Okay, so that is
Mm,
something we have
mhm.
to do. So that is a part of this. You have to understand this is the flow. Now, next
Okay.
one is define text declaration numbers, sorry, identification numbers by BSI tax company. So here we have to identify how do you, this is they call it a TIN number or tax identification number. Okay. So for you can see employer ID. Okay. For every employer ID. Okay. So here you will be having only one. Okay. Let's say only you are having only one entity. Okay. And for that only you are having only one tax code. Okay. Then you will be only one
Mm,
employer ID. But it may happen if it is a conglomerate. The organization is a conglomerate. Like in India, we do have Tata Reliance. They are into multiple business, right? They are into retail, they are into telecom, they are into finance, they are into insurance, right? So in those cases,
correct.
every entities will be different and their taxation will be like for a reporting purpose they will be having different employer ID. Okay, different if they're having different entities like that. If you are having similar kind of scenario, okay, so you have to define those employer ID number here, and accordingly you have to tag your respective tax code or tax ID, okay, whatever you are saying. That part you will be doing here. Okay, so here EIN, whatever, it is nothing but your employer ID number. Okay, so that ID number you have to assign it to your specific BSI tax company. Which employer will be tagged to which BSI tax company? Okay, generally people organization who are having five different entities, they will be having different tax company code. Okay, for from a BSI point of view. Okay, similarly they will be having different
Okay.
EIN or employer ID number. Okay, so here you have to have those ID number and this will be aligned with your tax number. These are all one-time activity. Okay, you don't have to repeat
Mm,
all these things during your, once you start working or once you start, you have already implemented, you don't have to change much here. Okay, unless and until if there is any new organization is coming up, and then only you have to come here and you
okay.
have to configure it. Otherwise, these are only single one-time configurations whenever you are implementing. Okay, got it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, got it. And basically, employee ID number, it's like
Hmm.
it's a group of personal area or it's separately state wise, maybe in real time.
In the real time, what happens? It can be one. Okay, so like it will be one mostly. Okay, so basically,
Okay.
because what will happen? Suppose your organization is present. It is so if you see one of the example here also, right? Okay, so what they have done? So some of the example you can see 02. They have 7101, 7102. It is like a multiple company codes. It looks like that. Okay, suppose if you go to a new
Okay.
entry, can you just do a new entry here? You'll be able to understand. Okay. So this is a purely a pretext. Can you see that? It doesn't have any, that is any drop down value to select. Okay. Only for taxes and
Correct.
number, I think they are having a value, right? Or is it a free text
Mm.
also? Can you just check that? Is free text or drop down value is there? Is there anything?
No, no, it's not there.
Not there, right? Okay. So this is
Not.
something. So system will check only that ID. Okay. Employer ID number based on your convenience. You can configure it. Okay, but this will be more important from a reporting point of view and all. You can create as per your
Okay.
naming convention, whatever organization you're following. It can be one, it can be multiple. Okay, so like here you can see
Okay.
mostly these people have used one prefix followed by a particular. It looks like a personal area, personal sub area like that, right? So you can do that, or either you can use only one for those entire thing also you can. So mostly they have used 0708 like that employer ID number and the respective tax identification number means that BSI tax interface number they have used it. So you
Correct.
can do both are possible, okay, based on your scenario again. Okay. based on your scenario and based on your business requirement. You can do that. Nothing much
Oh,
here. Simple. They are all simple process. Okay. Otherwise, you can just click that note number if anything new has come up. Can you just click that note if anything extra is there? I'm just checking it out. So basically, there what they are saying. Okay, identification number. Yeah, to be associated with a rate. Enter the tax company to which employer identification number. There is no strict principle. Okay, so based on your organization. Okay, each employee identification number you can tag to a your BSI tax company, which one will be belonging to. Okay, what they are saying after doing this, they're also asking to basically update it, the program for copying the entries or update clients and can be found in the US payroll menu per payroll period tools and tax utility. Yeah, there is a tool actually for that also to do it. Okay. So for to check to verify all these things. Okay. Can you go to try this US payroll menu? Okay. Go to SAP EG Access menu and from that can you try this tools and tax utilities?
here.
Open a new window. No. Close it. Okay. Close it and open a new session and in that go to US payroll. SAP user menu. Go to user menu.
Yes.
Huh. No.
Tax.
You go to SAP menu here only. Go to human resources here. Go to payroll, US payroll, America.
There
Go
is
to America.
international
No,
America.
not
Okay.
America. America. Go to again USA. Go to tools. Go to tools. These are all end user activity what we do using our specifically US payroll. There is something called I don't see that. Let me check it out. PC results, HR process workbench, PCC is there, and we have. Mm, can you go to here settings once? Settings. If it is not inside there, no, it is not there. Current setting is not there. Can you expand that customizing tools? Customizing tools, yeah. Okay, so here, just let me check it out where it exactly it is. There is something called tax utility. Sometimes the documentation also may be a little old. Maintain process, waste time maintenance, waste time utilization, display, archiving, problem solving. Okay, expanded outsourcing ones. Ideally, it should be there. The path which they are saying, right, it is not available in that path. Can you expand outsourcing? It is not. Mhm. Can you go to info system once again? Info system will be all reports will be there. Info system. How? They were saying tax related, right? Tax expand that. These are all of your front end where exactly you can basically execute the report and you can find out those details. Okay. So we are checking that, right? Tax. You can see display tax authorities. There is a report. Can you try that? Taxability, display tax authorities. These are all reports. Display tax authorities. Yeah. If you execute that report, okay. So here, if you can, is there any, okay. So tax authority, can you just choose any value there? Because it's a drop down value for any specific tax authority. So you can see there are more than 500. Okay. So then based on your tax level, again, you will be getting all these things, right? So if you select any of
Yes.
this, select any one. That city may not be directly available. Just still check it out. Or anything, any other city also you can try.
Yeah, yeah, I'm checking.
Hmm. These are all standard report, mostly based on how it has been configured. Data is maintained. You will be getting those. Maybe some popular one. Yeah, choose. Execute it.
Hmm. State not required.
Let's see if it is mandatory. I don't think. Let's check it out. Okay, so you can see for New Jersey, this is your field. Okay, so for every
Hmm.
tax authority, okay, we do have a state tax levels. There is a state tax. Basically, you will be having a code assigned to it. Okay, it's all defined. Okay, so accordingly, you can find out all these details against this report. So what you can do as an exercise. Okay, can you go back? So all the report, whatever you are seeing in the front end, right? Try to understand. Okay, means these are very simple. And also click that I button, you'll be getting some information from there. Click that I button in the top, third one. Yeah. Generally, informations are available here. Okay. So why it is needed and what tables it is actually bringing in. Okay. So you can see that this report will be displaying all the tax authorities based on the state tax level or so you can see there is something called county. It is not country. Can you see that?
Count.
COUNTY. In US and many of the European countries, okay, just like we define in our country in India, we have a municipality or something like that, right? Bigger, mm, even if it is not a metro, okay. So what they do generally, they bigger area, just like that, they call it a county. So maybe you have to search
Okay.
little bit, have some knowledge on county. What is a county? You can go search it in Google, okay, you'll be getting very detailed information.
Hmm.
Mostly it is present in UK, US, UK, and many of the European countries. Okay, it is not country. It's a very different something. Some people might be thinking it's a spelling mistake. It is not a spelling mistake. They call it a county only.
Okay.
Okay, county means it's a particular region. Okay, you can equivalent of it. It is not exactly like that. But in India, we do have a municipality, right? Some of the many of these places, right? So it's very similar to that. A big region, they call it a county. Okay, so that thing you have to little bit explore, okay, because that's not a
Okay.
technical stuff, but that terminology you have to understand. What is a county? Okay, so it's a region or a bigger region. Okay, sometimes we call it in Hyderabad or some locations, right? Greater Hyderabad, Noida, Greater Noida. Okay, Delhi, Greater Delhi. Okay, Gurgaon, Greater Gurgaon. Okay, some of the locations and surrounding that multiple small villages or small locations they combine it and they generally make it a municipality or bigger corporation like that, right? And similar to that, they in
Okay.
US they call it a county. It's a big region, okay,
Count.
and
Okay.
your related tax authorities also can be assigned to that. So there's a task what you can do because these are all end user activity. You don't have to do, but you have to be familiar because the backend configurations you will be doing. Okay, and also for every most of the reports they give a table also. So they are saying
Okay.
all the tax authorities are actually maintained in this particular table T5 UTZ. Okay, and how to check it? SM30 and go to this table. You can verify from there as well. Okay, from the backend system. Okay, got it?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you can just try it, check it out, whether you're able to access it or not. These are all standard report. Mostly you will be utilizing this. Go to SM30 and try one. You have to enter V underscore before that. You can see, yeah. So this is
Yes.
where
Yes.
exactly your for every tax authority you have specific county. Okay, what are the example of the county? You can see there are 4,300 plus. Okay, so they're like a small big cities area or municipality area, just like in India we do have. They call it a county in the US. Okay, for every county you will be finding there is a state also for every state under every state. Okay, so you have a two-digit state. Okay, you can see that. Okay, AL, AK, these are all of your state. And accordingly, you will be having your respective county, and also they have a defined at a tax level also. Okay, so tax level means whether it is a higher tax area or lower tax area. Based on that, they have defined A, B, C, D kind of a structure. Okay, so it is predefined,
Okay.
and these things you cannot edit it. Okay, what are the things you can edit? You can see those are editable. Okay, but these tables generally we do not touch. Okay, in a typical configurations. Okay, only thing is you have to verify whenever you are doing your configurations. These are all standard. Okay, will be provided by SAP, or in case if any changes happen, also SAP provides that options. Okay, so generally we come here and we verify that if it is missing or if it is not coming. Okay, so you can see all those values will be populated. Okay, these are all standard table. You don't have to touch much. Okay, only thing is to verify if anything is wrong or anything is coming up, not coming. Okay, so all the major cities, all the major tax authorities, you can see Arizona, California, San Francisco, all the major one. Okay, and the respective county or respective tax authorities. Okay, if it is not having the county, that is also fine. Only the tax authority is enough in that case. Okay, so that is the backend configuration. You can see, I will say these are all provided by SAP. In case if it is needed, you can also check it out. Okay, during your configurations part. Okay, and this is something very important whenever you are processing your taxes. Okay? Accordingly, because
Okay.
it is a linkage to your PA, PSN indirectly. So whenever you're maintaining your input type 2000, 200, 7, 8, 9, 10, right? So generally these options will be, so basically these options will be coming in your, all those fields. Okay, you'll be getting in at the info type level. Oh, got it?
Okay.
These are all interlinked with each other. Hmm. So what I will recommend, so as an end user, so first of all, you try to understand what are those tax reports. Okay, these are all standard reports. Okay, even if you are executing, some of the reports may not give you the direct output because you may not have the data. Okay, but there's nothing wrong in trying all these. Okay, so I will recommend all the tax related stuff. Okay, you can your do, and also you can make a note. Okay, maybe in a Word document. Okay, make sure what is the maybe one line or two line. Okay, for every report you can write some note and make an output of that. Okay, so whenever you are executing that report, what is the outcome of that report? Okay, so you can take a screenshot and you can send to me for reference. Okay, this is a task for you related to tax related stuff. Okay, and similarly there is something called tax report or reconciliation also there. Can you see that below that?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So this is for once your tax calculation has been done, if you want to reconcile, okay, because we do a lot of reconciliation after the payroll is done and all, right? So that part we do here. In this, they're all standard report. Okay. So we have a payroll reconciliation report as well, tax amount and interface tables are there. Okay. So use these are all standard reports. Okay, and if any custom is needed, generally we copy this standard report. Generally, that will be done by the ABAPer. Okay. So if it is needed, let's say your client has some extra fields is they needed, okay, which is not offered by standard. Okay. Then you have to copy this and you have to customize the report. Otherwise, this is more or less 90-95% of the customers globally where they are having any US entity, they use these reports for their regular tax purpose. Okay, this is something from a front end part of it. Okay, so this is something you have to understand, and for that you need at least your data. Similarly, there is a report
Okay.
here, tax info type summary. Can you execute that tax info type summary? Tax info type summary,
Which
fourth one. I think. From the top, fourth one below, wherever you've selected display tax authorities, right? Just two before tax info type summary.
tax info type? Uh,
Below, above, above,
Once.
above that, above that, above that. Wherever whatever you have selected, right? Just two above that.
Yeah, yeah, 1 second.
Tax,
In the same
no,
tax
no,
report reconciliation.
no. Below, above that, there's a tax folder, right? In the tax folder, fourth report, tax info type
Oh,
summary.
yeah.
Yeah,
Correct,
yeah.
correct.
Select that report. You just execute it. So from here, let's say you want to check what are the changes have been done or in the current month or current. You can choose current year. Let's see what is coming up. And also you can choose the employee ID also. Okay, but if you select everything, it will become everything. Execute it. Okay, I think, okay, this is a mandatory field. Personal number you select, whatever personal number. Okay. So you can see whenever you are downloading any report, right? So basically, it will say that these are your tax related info types. Okay. That is your 200 series, 207, 8, 9, 10, 234, 235, and 161. So whenever you are maintaining any employees, right? So ideally, you have to look into this 4, 5 info types, okay, for that particular time frame. So these are your
Okay.
related to your time. So you can see these are the details we do have. Okay. So, but depending upon your data again, it will be coming. Okay. Whether that data is existing or not, it will be tick. Okay. If it is found, if it is tick, then that means it is the data is existing for that employees. Okay. So you just try to today as a recap. Okay. Try to update this info type because once you update these info types, once you process your payroll, okay, you'll be understanding a lot of stuff there. So now coming to 2207, 8, 9, 10, these are all of your text related info type, those data that will be maintaining here. Okay. Other than that, I would just like to show you something. Can you go to another, suppose you want to learn the tax rules of US and all. Okay. So from where, just like in India, we do have an income tax authority, a specific website. So for US, there is something called irs.gov. Can you go to your website and search? So from that only you have to learn the latest. Suppose any interview they will be asking where exactly who you refer any income tax related stuff. Okay. So for that you have to type IRS www.irs.gov. This is one. This is for student tax basically treatment. Another is ISTA irs.gov. Yeah. This is one site. Okay. All of your tax related information specific to US, all the required forms. Okay, I will recommend to have the latest one. You read it from here. Okay, so basically, what are the tax slabs or what are the tax laws? Okay, not too much, but at least you should be familiar with all the terminology. Okay, that I will recommend. Okay, this is the site where exactly you will be getting. This is called Internal Revenue Services from IRS point of view. Another site is there that is called istaxes.com. Okay, so just to type IS, this is a commercial site. Texas, istaxes.com. .com. This is also a good website where exactly you'll be finding US, whether it is individual taxes or it is a tax form, okay, you will be finding details here. Hmm.
Mhm. Okay.
Okay, so these two sites you can refer. Okay, other than that, uh, when it comes to the US payroll, okay, so this is the tax point of view. Now, mostly in US, they call it a tax model. Okay, so US for US tax model is a nothing but basically it is a combination. Whatever you have learned so far, we have learned about tax authority. We have different type of tax classes and all, right? So those they combine it and they call it a tax model. Okay, tax authority, tax classes, tax types. Okay, there are so many things. Okay, but if you to avoid confusion and all, they call it a tax model. Okay, so that you will be able to understand whatever the we have seen today, right? That we can call it as a tax model. So can you go to the SPRO once again to your SPRO screen, and I will show you the exact configurations. We are already in the tax button, right? In the SPRO, go there. There is something called
Actually,
tax. Oh, go to SPR once again. In US, you have a different type of tax authority. It can be federal tax, or in there are some states also they have their own taxation purpose. Like New Jersey, it is having their own taxation. Okay, for federal is a common one. Okay, and similarly, if there is any local authority, like in Pennsylvania and Oregon, there are certain states they have their own local authority. Okay, they do not obey the principles. They have their own. Okay, so here again, go to the tax again. So inside the tax, you can find something called tax data maintenance, which is a configuration. Okay, so from here you can see tax authorities, tax type, tax area, tax model. Okay, so many things related to the tax only. Okay, so can you go one by one once? Tax authority, if you see here, which is already we have seen, can you go to once? Check tax authorities. Yeah. Either you can go from a report or you can directly come here from a, okay. It is taking to the same table, isn't it? T5 UTZ. Okay. So this is a
Correct.
important table which is generally maintained by SAP. Okay. But you have to understand whether your whatever countries or whatever states you are working, okay, that should be there in this list actually. Okay. So this is something you know it as a tax authority. Okay. This is your go back. Hmm. So this is your tax authority. So similarly, the other one you can check it out. The remaining things, how the authorities are mapped and all. Okay. So how the numbering is done. Okay, they have defined in the sorting number. How the W4 and all these indicators are defined here. Okay. These are all standard actually. Okay, you don't have to worry much. Okay, standard everything. You can see there are all 4,300 plus entries. Okay. So whenever you are getting your system in your typical support project, ideally verify whether it covering all the states or not. Ideally, it should be there. Otherwise, you have to raise a ticket to SAP. Okay, these are all standard. You don't have to do much. Okay, but you have to ensure these are all there. Go back again.
Okay.
Yeah. So now next one you go to text types there. There is something called text types. So text types, what are those text types? Just like they have something called social security tax. Okay, so this is again SAP maintained data, but you have to understand. Okay, these are varieties of tax. Okay, so in India also we do have different types of taxes, right? We have income tax, we do have a goods and service tax. Okay, so varieties of taxes are there. And similarly in US also they have a very specific type of tax types. They call it okay withholding tax. Some
Okay.
countries, some states, they do have a social security tax. For everything, they have a tax. Okay, so that varieties is
Okay.
maintained here. This is again maintained by SAP, but you have to understand. Okay, this is something called
Okay.
tax
Okay.
type. Okay, so can you go back? This is clear, right? It's a very standard one. I'm not for that reason. I'm not focusing
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Okay,
The tax
you
type.
don't have.
Yes, yes. I can.
Uh, but you understand this is a concept. That is why I'm just going through, have a glance. Okay. Now, next one is go to text area, which is very important one. Text area. Hmm. So here you will be having BSI will be coming into picture. Okay. And maintain work related text area. Can you go there? So tax area, what does it do? Tax area will be basically combine different tax authority. Okay, it will be combining multiple tax authorities, and they will be making it to a one tax area. So that is a typical example. Or let's say it may be possible that you are working in New Jersey. I'm just giving a hypothetical example. Okay, so if you are working in New Jersey, as per the law in New Jersey, you have to provide. You are subjected to give two types of tax. One is a federal tax, which is at a government central government level. Another one is New Jersey state tax. Okay, just like in India, if you think about in Andhra Pradesh or Telangana, you have a professional tax. In Karnataka also, I think they are also having. In Odisha also we do have that tax. Also we have to pay. Okay. At the same time, at the government level also we pay some taxes. Okay. So similarly, if you think about it, based on your tax area, it is defined that which state will be means eligible for which kind of tax. Some state they will be having multiple tax authority. One is a federal, which is a central government, and similarly, they based on the states. In some states, it may not be applicable. Just like in India, in Delhi NCR, we do not have a professional tax. Okay. Similarly, based on the state
Okay.
again, you have to means it is the again it is deeply defined which states will be offering which kind of eligible for which kind of tax area to tax authority. That relationship is maintained here. You can find out one tax area, and again against that you can find out some related states as well. Okay, these are again predefined. You don't have to worry, but you have to understand this concept because whenever any troubleshooting you will be doing, first of all you have to check which state the person will be belonging to in a real time scenario. Okay, suppose you are working in a
Mm,
support project.
mm,
Okay, so you may get an issue like that this person is getting some tax related issues. Okay, how to identify it? First of all, you have to check the person belongs to which tax area, he belongs to which tax type, what kind of tax type that issue is coming up. Okay, because these are something which you have to use in your analysis. Okay, and as for that, you have to
okay.
check what is the current laws or what are the current calculations for that particular location. Okay, for the tax authority. So that is very important one whenever you are doing. And accordingly, you will be checking your input types as well. 207, 208, 209, 210, whether it is properly maintained, whether those dates are correct or not. During that time frame, whether it is the calculations are means it is calculated or not. Whether it is in 2023 you are checking, but the slab or any calculations was done in 2022 as per the earlier calculation. That you have to verify. So this will be helping you whatever we are learning today. You don't have to do configure
Okay.
much, but from an analysis point of view, this is very important one. Okay, whenever you are doing any kind of analysis in your support project or even in implementations, right? During your testing, you
Okay.
have to create multiple test scenario based on your locations again. Okay, very huge activity. Whenever it comes to US payroll, testing takes a lot of time. So, like every year end also, if there is any calculations happens, year end reconciliations. Okay, in my one of my earlier project, we have around 20 plus people for testing only. Okay, because it was a very huge project which was having around 30,000 employees. Okay, and we have around
Mm,
20 plus
okay.
people for 2 months. Okay, for all report testing, all the reconciliation testing. So that requires a lot of time. Even it looks very simple, okay, but you have to test it, verify it, everything before you go for the next. Okay, so this is something I would recommend. I will not be going through the text, all the this segment of it. Okay, you have to go through
Mm,
each and every segment. Okay, whatever we are learning today, text area part of it. Okay, and if any question, you can always
okay.
ask for. But these are mostly maintained by SAP. Okay, very few things we just do it here. Okay, nothing much.
Okay.
Now, last part we'll be learning today, that is for tax model, okay, which I was talking about. Okay, so when it comes to tax model, there are two things I think. Okay, one is a subsequent, another one is the one. I think it's one time or what is written there? First time
Yeah.
configuration. Yeah.
To
So whenever you're
time.
doing for the
Yeah.
first time configuration, so that you define here. Okay, so if you go there, can you just execute that define tax model? Yeah. So here you will be going to there. Okay, this is a kind of a rule again. Okay, so if you go here, display, click the display button. Ah, display button. Yeah. Yeah. So this is a rule actually they have defined for a particular tax area. Okay. So like for which resident, okay, which tax area for which employer group that they have defined. Okay. So you can extend this based on your employee group, subgroup, and all in your organizations, right? So what they have done, they have put it as star here. Star means it is applicable for all the employee subgroups and all. So that is the definitions there. So they put everywhere star actually. Okay, but mostly
Okay.
this will be working. But in case if your organization needs something, then you have to tweak this rules. Okay, that is something generally the part of your payroll configurations. We generally do it. But if it is applicable for everything, then you have to simply leave it like this. Okay, generally we okay follow this.
Okay.
Okay, can you go back once again? Yeah, this is one way. Another way is you can see there is something called update schema. That is again very similar to that, right? Go below that, below that. Hmm.
I need to define or same like.
No, no, no. Go to the second one. Second one, display change taxability model. I think it will be coming
Okay.
the similar one only. But here you'll be seeing in a tabular
Mm,
format. Okay. So here you can see for every tax authority, okay, there is a tax modifier. Mostly these are all U1 they have identified. Okay. And can you
Okay.
just select one and click details? Select one record and click the details button there. Okay. So you can see employee for this, there are two types of text types. Okay. One is employer unemployment tax, another is employee. Just like in India, we do have PF, right? Employer and employee.
Mm.
But in
Yeah.
US, they have they suppose somebody is not having employment. Okay. And US government is bound to provide an unemployment tax. Okay. So here in this case, in this scenario, okay. So as a part of your job generally is a part of a salary. Generally, you people give to they're all deducted from the salary. Okay, unemployment tax, employee unemployment tax, and employer unemployment tax. If you go to click details here, okay, you'll be finding more details about this. These are again all predefined. Okay, so for every state, you
Okay.
may have a different model. But if you want to access more, I will recommend take some time, 1 or 2 days, okay, to understand
Mm.
this X class. You don't have to remember as such, but suppose somebody will be asking in an interview, at least you should be able to navigate and you should be able to explain all the things. What is the text type? Okay, text type is employer unemployment tax. For the text class, inside that we have a different text class type, whether it is whether the government wants to give a regular wages, whether they want to give a only unemployment taxable only, or what are the different varieties. Okay, under particular text type, you will be having different text class. Okay, so what you can do, you can prepare a notes actually. So whenever you are understanding going through this, okay, you can
Mm.
see there is a one particular text type, and under that we do have a different type of text classes. Okay, and what are the example? This example you can remember. Okay, just like here we have example called non-resident taxation. We have something called FICA. Okay, for tax credit. There are varieties of things are there. So many varieties. Okay, so that example if you can remember and make a note, and during your interview process, generally you should be able to explain all the things, right? That is the intention behind it, but these are mostly standard. Okay, so you can find a similar thing for other states as well, and the list is very endless. Okay, there are 4,000 plus entries here also you'll be finding. Okay, these are all standard, but from today's understanding, what I would recommend, right? You have to understand how these are interlinked with each other. Okay, because if you see everything has a connection. Okay, so like your text
Correct.
class has a connection with the text model, or text model will be having okay, various connection to different text authorities. Okay, so tax authority has a particular relationship with the tax model. Okay, so all these things actually you have to understand, and the tax model is nothing but a two-digit number. Okay, so this model and these are all interrelated with each other. Okay, this is something you have to understand. Okay, so I would recommend today as a task you refer all the configurations whatever inside it and try to relate to it. And second task is from a front end point of view, execute all the standard report. Whether if it is fetching the data or not, that doesn't matter. But at least you should be able to understand the selection screen, what are the options are coming there, and what are the which we execute. If the data is coming, well and good. If it is not coming, what is the outcome is coming up? Okay, maybe you can take some screenshot. Okay, so that you will be able to understand all those details part of it. Okay, so this is something at a high level. Okay, very detailed means from a configuration point of view, you don't have to do much because these are all taken care by mostly by SAP, and BSI is again whenever you will be doing that part, it will be taken care by BSI. From that point of view, you have a less effort. Okay, from when it comes to US payroll. Unlike India, in India you have to configure everything. Okay, but in US these are all mostly taken care. Okay, so through BSI part of it. Okay, but you have to understand the concept here. Okay, all the concept you have to understand because whenever you're doing any kind of analysis, right, this will be helpful for you. Got you. I
Okay.
think it is too much. I generally cover it is generally 2 to 3 sessions, but it is a fast track for you. Okay, but
Okay.
I recommend go through it. Okay, and maybe tomorrow we will continue with that. There is something called what we do in a year-end activity because the taxation is something. Uh, there is always a periodical taxes already deducted, but at the same time at the end of the year, okay, every just like in India also we do have, right, like we submit our all the declarations even in the beginning of the year, but at the end we provide out the actual, isn't it? We provide whatever the actual investment we have done and all the things we provide. Similarly in US they do it by April 15 actually. So for all the W2, Okay, whatever the W2s generally they do submitted by April 15. Okay, so those discussion we will be having tomorrow. Okay, so till now, it is you just refer this. Okay, just to check all the configurations. They're all standard, but try to understand the concept and relevant example so that if somebody will be asking, okay, you should be able to give a proper example. And the examples you will be finding in the mostly in the note section of it for every node. Okay, you will be finding in the respective table. Okay, just do an R&D on this today. Okay, so entire text data maintenance section. Okay, and we will continue with this. Okay, tomorrow also. Okay, tomorrow we will be going for how to do an year-end activities for US Payroll, which is very important one. Okay, there's an year-end activity, and also there is a starting whenever you're starting a financial year. Okay, or any
Okay.
year-end workbench activity. What are the activities we do? Okay, so that we will discuss. There is a different tool for US Payroll. Okay, that tool we will be discussing tomorrow. Okay, got it.
Okay. Yeah.
Anything else?
So that, after that we can go for configuration. Uh,
Yeah, yeah. So
this.
yeah, so this is not much configuration. So here, as I say, right, because we do not have a
Mm,
BSI. Okay,
mhm.
okay, but only
Okay.
thing is you will be understanding what here. Okay, the configuration definitely
Okay.
for everything. These are all standard. You don't have to do much configurations here. Okay, because these are mostly given. Okay, only for few cases, if you want to like, if it is aligned to a person area, person sub area, those sections only you have to configure. Okay, but otherwise, mostly these
Mm,
are standard. Okay, and if any indicator to be activated or not activated, that is the only configurations here you will be finding here. Okay, otherwise not much. These are all
okay.
mostly standard. And you have to
Okay.
configure
Which is
whatever
shared
is
on document. Okay.
hmm.
Topics document I shared, right? That we can refer
Hmm.
accordingly. We can go through on
Yeah,
that.
sure, sure. The document which you have said, right? Okay, accordingly we will
Yeah.
follow. And but this is one of the a part of that only. Okay, so that you
Yeah.
will be able to
Yeah.
understand much better. Okay. I will take another two to
Yeah.
three
Sure.
sessions for this, maybe if it is required.
Yeah.
Okay, don't worry. So, but my worry is you have to understand because this is something. From a reporting point of view, definitely you can download few of the reports and all. Okay, but from an
Okay.
execution point of view, because we do not have any live integration with the BSI, right? So that part
Mm,
generally you will be learning once you are into a job and you start executing it. Okay, you can always come back
mm.
to me. Okay, but that is something
Okay.
you cannot experience in a standard this kind of a standalone on-premise system. Okay, even if it is EC payroll, right? So unless and until if you have a license, because BSI doesn't provide any demo, okay, demo system,
Okay.
demo server to
Yeah.
integrate, right? So that is where
Okay.
you have to once you get into those kind of projects, but it's not so difficult, believe me. So this is something you have to once you get into project, you'll be getting into that, right? But otherwise,
Okay.
from a tax and configuration point of view, this is something the concept is very important. All the things you will be learning from here, and tax authorities, whatever you have seen today, okay, that mapping you have
Okay.
to do. That mapping, if it is missing something, okay, or let's say something you do not want, you do want to deactivate, okay, so those things generally we do in this. We call it also BSI TUPS. You must have heard about TUPS, right? TUBS.
Tops.
Have
Had,
you
but
heard?
I don't know about it. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, no problem. No problem, no problem. So what we will do, so today for today, as an exercise, you just explore this entire end to end of this tax node. Okay. And similarly, from a
Mm.
front end point of view, that reports, okay, from a
Sorry.
SAP access menu, okay, you go there and download or whether it is possible, execute all the transactions there from that reports and all, explore that, and how it is interconnected. We will try to, means that is, you have to check it out, how whether you are able to relate to it or not. That is something you
Okay.
have to check it out. Okay, that is a task
Okay.
for you. And we'll continue
Okay.
tomorrow with the same thing because taxon is the most important one. Okay. Another two sessions
Okay.
maybe I will take it to make you understand. And accordingly, whenever we will be running, and meanwhile, you maintain your data also. Okay. For our for whom employee, whatever you have hired, okay, for US,
Mhm.
maintain that
Mm.
info types. Okay, 207, 208, 9, 10. Okay. So one of my earlier videos, it is already there, how to maintain all those fields. So I'm not going to repeat that. Okay, so that you can watch that video and you can maintain those info types so that you will be able to process the payroll whenever you'll be able to process running the payroll for that. We will see that. Okay,
Okay.
got it.
Maintain means I have to add those info type in that personal number. in that
Yes, yes,
action.
yes, 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 yes. Info type 207, 8, 9, 10. Those info types you update it. Okay. Whatever employee you have hired in for US. Okay. So just to try that.
Okay, sure.
Okay, then. Then we will connect
Yeah,
again tomorrow, same time. See
yeah,
you
yeah,
there.
sure.
Bye
Yeah,
bye. Thank you.
thank
Have a
you.
good day. Bye bye.
Yeah, thank you.